Death due to alcohol, drugs, suicide, and interpersonal violence, sometimes characterized as deaths of despair, are on the rise in the U.S., particularly among white males, reversing a centuries-long improvement in life expectancy. But these deaths are not distributed evenly around the country. In a new analysis appearing in the Journal of the American Medical Association, researchers from the University of Washington used county-level data to characterize the extent and variation of deaths from these causes. Now, the study of variation in medicine is more important than it seems at first blush. High levels of geographic variation in a disease or a treatment strategy suggest that potentially modifiable factors are at play. Put it this way, if I told you that the rate of cholangiocarcinoma was fairly evenly distributed throughout the country, you might conclude that what we're seeing is more or less a baseline rate, something stochastic, where only really broad changes in diagnosis or treatment will make an impact. What this study shows us is that these deaths of despair are by no means uniform. In fact, variation is highly pronounced and dramatic. Let's look at the rate of deaths associated with drug use nationwide in 2014. You see a 58-fold range in the death rate from the lowest to the highest counties, with West Virginia and Kentucky particular hotspots. Looking at the change in death rate from 1980 to 2014 provides a window into the scale of this epidemic. Deaths due to drug use did not decline over these 2.5 decades in a single county in the United States, not one. And the rate in those hotspot areas has increased 50-fold. Moreover, the extent of variation from county to county has increased dramatically. What this tells us is that these deaths are not due to some baseline physiology, but rather to local factors. Lead author Dr. Laura Dwyer-Lindgren told me she wasn't comfortable with the deaths of despair label, as they don't really know what's driving these changes.
A lot of the discourse around the just massive increase in deaths from drug use disorders is around the massive increase in deaths specifically from opioids and around how that relates to prescribing and availability.
We actually have data on the rate of prescribing of opioids on a county level in the U.S., though not from Dr. Dwyer-Lindgren's paper. Here's a map from the CDC looking at opioid prescription rates. We'll put it up next to the map documenting the increase in deaths from drug abuse. Sometimes a picture is worth 1,000 statistical tests. For MedPage Today, I'm Perry Wilson.